Well, it's been a while since we've done an update on bus life, so I figured let's sit down and chat about one of the most common questions I get asked about life on the road. So I've been traveling full time for 3.5 years now in my self converted schoolie, and the most common question I get asked is where do I find places to park? Now, keep in mind, my rig is 40 feet bumper to bumper, plus I've got an electric bike on the front, which adds another 3 to 4 feet. So realistically, we're talking about needing almost 45 feet of length to be able to park this rig and have a place to stay. So I am a seasonal traveler. I typically am down south in the winters and up north in the summers trying to find better weather. In my ideal situation, I won't have to run heat and I won't have to run air conditioning. But as anybody else who travels knows, that's not always the reality. When I'm on the road and doing more of a consistent travel, that's where it starts to get a little bit trickier because I've got a few spots in the north and south where I can go set up shop and hang out for a month at a time if I want to, or longer. So that's answer number one: is building your network or having family and friends that maybe have hunting property or a cabin or something like that where you can actually go set up your rig and stay for an extended period of time. That style of travel is nice if you're looking to rebuild your money fund, whether you're working online or something, or even doing a seasonal job somewhere. So it's nice to have those breaks or those places to go where you can cut down on some of your expenses. When I'm in my consistent travel, and by consistent, I mean on an average day, I'm going to be driving between 1 and 200 miles. That's when it starts to get a little bit trickier. Now, by far, my favorite way to travel, especially when I'm doing the consistent trips, is using platforms like Harvest Host and Boondockers Welcome. So, if you're not familiar with that platform, Harvest Host was originally created as a way to support the RVing community and connect them with local businesses who have a place to park and stay. So, these businesses may be things like local farms, wineries, orchards, distilleries, anything like that, where the business may have a product that they sell that could work well for kind of the nomadic community. So, over the last 3.5 years, I have been to probably 50 or more of these Harvest Host locations. One of the best parts is it's all based on an app on your phone. So, I'm a little bit more of a spontaneous traveler and don't like to have a hardline itinerary set up in the future. And using the Harvest Host app lets me go in, see which hosts are near me or near the destination I'm trying to get to, as well as what is their availability. A lot of hosts are now offering same day booking. So for my style of travel, that is perfect. I go into the app, I can filter by length. So I'm looking for areas that welcome 40 plus feet, and then that also do same day booking. One of the other cool features that has kind of evolved over the last few years that I've been using Harvest Host is the ability to stay for multiple nights. Originally, Harvest Host was intended you stop in for one night, you support the business with a purchase, in exchange, you have a safe place to park, and then you go on your way the next day. More and more hosts are now offering 2, 3, even up to 5 night stays, and that'll all tell you that in the app. Now, keep in mind, your membership with Harvest Host includes that first night. Additional nights at a host may cost extra, so just be sure to check with the host and see what that nightly rate is. In the same family as Harvest Host is Boondockers Welcome. So Boondockers Welcome is a similar model where it's private landowners that open up their property for people to stay, also between 1 and 5 nights. So the nice thing is both of these programs are integrated into the same app. So it gives you thousands and thousands of options as you're trying to travel all across the US. So I have met some fantastic people, eaten some amazing food, tried some local wine and things like that I would have never discovered if not for this program. The other advantage is, again, I'm in a very large rig, so some of the areas you might be able to fit a van, an ambulance, car camping, I just can't physically fit in those places. So being able to go into the app, filter by size, as well as same day, see how many nights they allow, really makes it so much easier for me to be able to travel and kind of go the routes I want. and it also helps keep you connected with a community on the go. If you're a solo traveler like myself, sometimes you may be going weeks without meeting people that you know. And the cool thing with Harvest Hosts is I've stayed with some hosts multiple times throughout different parts of my journey, and they remember me when I come back and welcome me back each time. So that is by far my favorite way to travel, is using platforms like Harvest Host. And the best part is, if you're thinking about getting a membership, they're running a holiday sale right now. So you can save up to 30%. I'll put all that info down in the description below, and you can sign up for the account. So because Harvest Hosts has become even more popular over the last couple of years, hosts have been improving their properties to make it even easier for us to stay. So I've had the opportunity to stay with some hosts that include water, electric, and sometimes even a sewer hookup. So if you're in a rig where you do need shore power or to hook up to amenities, those are things that hosts are starting to include in their areas. Now, personally, I'm on solar in the bus, but there have been times when the weather isn't cooperating, my batteries are low, and it's great to be able to plug into shore power and not have to worry about whether or not my battery's going to last through the night. So again, that's another great feature with the program. Keep in mind, these hosts may charge extra for some of those amenities, or it might be included in just supporting them as a host through Harvest Hosts. If you guys have questions about Harvest Hosts, drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any of them that you have. A ton of my friends travel this way, and the other cool part is hosts offer multiple spots at times. So even if I'm traveling with friends, we can all go into our accounts through the app and book multiple spots at the same Harvest Host and be able to travel together. So again, it is my favorite way to travel. And now's the perfect time of year to be able to get that 30% off during their holiday sale. And that'll be good through the end of the year. So definitely check it out. Again, questions, drop them below. Some of the other ways that I also find places to park are apps like iOverlander. Now keep in mind, because of my size, I don't really rely on iOverlander as much. I find that their recommendations are more intended for smaller rigs or vans, which is totally fine. But I have found some good campsites on there as well. And if you're in an area that has Cracker Barrels are another business that allow you to park overnight. I typically go in and either get dinner or breakfast while I'm at a Cracker Barrel, just so that I'm supporting that business that has provided a safe spot to park. I like to call and make sure that they allow overnight parking. Some people just go. That's just one of the things that I like to do. In addition to Cracker Barrel, some of the other chain or larger businesses that allow you to park overnight are Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, some Walmarts. But again, anytime I'm looking at a big box store, I always like to call and ask for the manager on duty just to see, hey, do you allow overnight parking for an RV? And help them understand that I'm only staying one night. I'm not intending to set up camp in their parking lot. But if you're just passing through an area that maybe doesn't have a lot of Harvest Host options, it's a great way to stop off. If I'm looking for an area with even more amenities or a longer stay, then when it comes to campgrounds, I'm typically looking at state parks, municipal campgrounds. I stay away from RV resorts or anything that has a really large price tag. So I find that those state parks and municipal campgrounds tend to give a happy medium of what amenities are provided and a cost per night. So that's another way you can go around. There's apps like recreation.gov where you can go and actually look at different campgrounds and things and book them all through the app for your needs. So in traditional campgrounds, sometimes conversions get turned away. I've been lucky that I haven't experienced that. So yeah, that is kind of the majority of how I'm traveling. Harvest Host is by far my favorite. I've gotten to see and go to really cool places. One of my most recent ones this fall was a Christmas tree farm, which was perfect for the time of year. And I was actually there for 2 nights, which was really nice to not have to travel and be able to get some work done and not move the bus. I had my Starlink set up, plenty of internet speed, and all of that was fantastic. Then I would say my secondary fallback would be Cracker Barrels. They're a favorite in an area that has them. And then if I'm really struggling to find options, looking at those state park campgrounds, municipal campgrounds, And only in kind of emergency cases will I go to a truck stop. And you might be asking why not go to truck stops more often. My logic is truck stops are intended for working drivers because they're regulated on how long they can drive, when they have to stop, and they need a safe place to stop. There's a lot of places I can go park and they can't. So if I can help it, I try to avoid truck stops, mainly so I'm not taking a parking spot away from an over-the-road trucker who may need that spot because they're out of hours for the day. So that's just something to be cognizant of while you're traveling. Yes, we're out there enjoying, we're recreating, but there are a lot of people on the road that it is their full-time job. So if I can do anything to help them or make their travels easier, that's why I stay towards those other options. So like I said, I just want to make this quick video as a way to update you guys on what bus life has been like for the last 3.5 years traveling full time, and some of my favorite ways to park and find places to stay. If you guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you've got a favorite Harvest Host location, I would love to know about it so I can get them added to my radar for future travels. And if you guys like these kinds of videos where I'm diving more into a topic, talking about common questions, things like that, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know what topics I should cover down below. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all adventures around seeking discovery. So thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you in the next video.